Good morning, my fellow yoga travelers. I'm mighty glad to be alive today, and I hope that you are too, as we continue to live, laugh, love, learn, linger, live the life we love. Don't forget to loaf and hydrate. You know who I'm talking to. Okay, so now, yes, the treasure under the bridge. Once there was a poor Jew living in one of the shtetls in the ghettos. He had this really disturbing dream, and in the dream it was that there was a treasure underneath the bridge outside of the front of the Tsar's palace in in Moscow. So he forgot about it, figured maybe it was a bad piece of gefilte fish or whatever. But then he had the dream the next night. So he went to his wife and said, "What do you think? Is this real?" He says, "It's what are you even thinking about that for? It's so stupid. Forget about it. You've never even been anywhere outside of the village. How would you even get there? Forget it." But it didn't happen the third time. You know, they say things that happen once never happen again, but things that happen twice are likely to happen the third time. So it had the third time. This time he went to the rabbi. Even the rabbi said, little, Yussel, I don't think you should be following the dream. Just stay here. But it bugged him so much that he didn't care. And so, with no resources, he headed out for Moscow. It took him a long time to get there on foot. By the time his shoes were like had holes in them, his clothes were ragged, he was like dirty and tired and hungry. But when he got to Moscow, there was the bridge just as his dream said. And he'd never been there before. How did he know it? It was like psychic. But the bridge was constantly being guarded by the Tsar's guards. So there was no time when he could possibly search for the treasure. But that didn't even matter because the captain of the guards saw this Jew standing by the bridge and looking kind of nervous and stuff like that. So, of course, he went up to him and said, "What are you doing? What are you plotting? What are you after?" Oh, my God, he freaked out. So he was so anxious and nervous when he blurted out the whole story. And then the captain of the guard said, "You're so stupid. You don't follow a dream. I've had a dream. I had a dream that in this small shtetl out in the middle of nowhere, buried behind the kitchen hearth in this guy Yussel's house was a treasure. But do you see me going off on a wild goose chase? Get out of here with your cockamamie story." Oh, then Yussel got the message. Thank you so much. And then he went back home and he dug behind the hearth in his kitchen, and there was a buried treasure. So many times we have to travel far to discover something that was really near if we would only listen to our dreams, because some of them are pretty prophetic. Anyway, I love that story. It's just like in India when they say, the answers lie within. You know, the treasure we have is right under our nose, but we often don't see it. All right, so to that point, once I decided that feeling good mattered to me, releasing resistance to feeling good became much, much easier. And then I've tried to build a monument to well being. So my own legacy is filled with well being. And if there's any kind of good pride, I would accept the fact that, like, I'm proud of what I've done. But at the same time, that I've learned hurting anybody else in any way, I don't want to do that. I don't want to say I'm not capable of hurting people, but I'm certainly not going to do what I've done in my earlier years when I wasn't conscious about my responsibility to put out the better one, my better angel, to other people. And that's how I've learned to go beyond what I would call the accumulated disgust, and just said, "That's not working for me anymore. And I'd rather follow the path of the Buddha and what he calls the bliss of blamelessness and live a righteous life with a karma that's accrued to what I put out comes back as peace and a certain kind of freedom." So until I faced myself, I remained in denial. I was unable to see my own self destructive tendencies, propensities. But then yoga came into my life, and I learned a certain kind of efficiency, an ability to accomplish something, even a certain kind of subjugation of the wayward impulses that I had, and I directed them to something that was much healthier for myself. And then I became a master of my own operations, designing a life that really worked for me and helping people along the way as well as having fun. So, what can I say? I hope that every one of you accepts your own idiosyncrasies and realize how valuable you are despite that. And when you look at other people, don't forget they have value too, even though they are idiosyncratic and we may not understand where they're coming from or what their backstory is. But I would just say, please orient yourself to the highest good that you're capable of imagining and watch an organic unfolding of your own metaphysical ethic. Have a great day.